Hello, and welcome to this episode of Felonious, a podcast where we discuss the realm of true crime. From chilling cold cases to the wild and wacky, we'll explore it all with a perfect blend of seriousness and humour. My name is Emma.
And I'm Nazia. To keep up to date with what's coming up, be sure to follow us on Instagram at felonious.pod and visit our website feloniouspod.com. We hope you enjoy this episode, so let's get to it. So, we're back for our monthly crime catch-up. We still don't know what to call these monthlies. Crime catch-up?
Yeah, we're going to have to come up with a name, aren't we?
I know. If anyone's got any suggestions, send them our way.
I think as we're concentrating on news stories, it needs to be a pun of some kind.
I know. Yeah, I know. But my brain's too fried to come up with something. Maybe I should ask my partner. He's always coming up with, like, dad joke puns. So
In French or English?
Both.
Oh.
Sadly, I have to deal with it in both languages. Mainly English. He gets so impressed by himself.
Oh, bless him.
To be fair, it's quite impressive to come up with dad jokes in a second language.
It is. I couldn't do that in Swedish.
No, I couldn't do it in French.
It's too emotive for me, I think.
Yeah. I would just fuck it up before I've even thought of it.
I find it's really hard to be sarcastic in Swedish as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so firstly, before we get into our current news articles, we should probably mention the whole Lucy Letby thing, because I dropped her name in last month's episode when I was talking about that nurse in America.
Yeah.
And there's literally been some updates on her case, on Lucy Letby's case.
There's been loads of updates, even updates I didn't know about that was going on last year.
Yeah.
It didn't seem to be in my newsfeed at all.
Yeah, it wasn't on my radar. Like when the story first came out, it was all you could hear about, and even on social media. But now these latest developments, I didn't know about them. So yeah, do you want to talk about what you've read?
Yeah, I've got a load of notes right here.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, Lucy Letby was a neonatal nurse in the UK, and she was found guilty for murdering or harming 17 newborn babies, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And she got 15 whole life sentences to serve in prison. Now, the recent update with this case is that an international panel of experts have found no evidence to say that she actually did these acts to these poor children. They've actually found that the babies had suffered from bad medical care in the first place, or they died of natural causes. And Lucy Letby's current barrister, Mark MacDonald, said that 14 leading experts found overwhelming evidence that her conviction is unsafe. The Criminal Cases Review Commission has been given the findings, and they'll investigate whether a potential miscarriage of justice has occurred.
Right.
So that's where we're up to at the moment. That could mean that Letby could be released out on bail if the Court of Appeal believe there is a possibility of her convictions being quashed. But that could be another year away before the appeal court even grants an appeal. So at the same time, the Crown Prosecution Service stands by its original verdict.
Do you know what it's making me think of? And I know it's very, very early days to say this, but it's making me think of the whole Kathleen.
I'm so glad you said that, because I will come on to that.
Kathleen Folbig.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
I will come on to that in a second.
Yeah.
I just want to say that there is a Conservative Member of Parliament, David Davis, has got involved.
Yeah.
And he said that it is one of the major injustices of modern times. So if it does turn out that evidence was either falsified or was misconstrued in some way, it could be one of the biggest cases in Britain that has happened for a while.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the chairman of this panel, Dr. Shu Lee, he's a retired neonatologist from Canada, and he said that the hospital was poorly staffed, everyone was overworked, there was inadequate numbers of appropriately trained clinicians.
That doesn't surprise me one single bit.
No, with the state of the NHS at the moment.
No.
But he said if this had happened in a hospital in Canada, it would be shut down.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. And I mean, I don't know what it's like with the NHS at the moment, but when I worked in the NHS, we had something called, it still exists now, but there's something called the CQC, the Care Quality Commission, and they're basically supposed to go around and inspect hospitals and give them like a rating, and like there's supposed to be action plans put in place. But with the way the NHS has gone under the Tory government in the last however many years, 10 plus years, there's so many services that are struggling. And, you know, yeah, so if it turns out that it was multidisciplinary team failure, that would not surprise me one single bit.
No. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either.
And it got worse with COVID.
Exactly,
after COVID,
yeah.
it got so much worse.
COVID was the straw that broke the camel's back, really.
Yeah.
And it's going to take years and years for it to get to a standard that it was pre-Conservative government, I think.
If the resources are put back in.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The resources have been stripped and stripped and stripped. Brexit's made things worse. Tory governments have made things worse. And yeah, it's just a really shit, dire situation. And obviously, like, this is going a bit personal, but my mum would still be here.
Yeah.
If the NHS was functioning the way it should be, you know, like, and so many people's family members and these poor parents that lost their children. So, you know, these latest developments mean that these parents, they're probably going to have to be re-traumatized going through all of this again. They probably thought, we got our answer, justice has been served, and they, you know, in some way got some closure for their loss. But now this is just opening up a can of worms. And for them, they probably feel like they're never going to get the answers now. You know, do you know what I mean?
I mean, it destroys your faith in both the NHS and the criminal justice system.
Yeah, exactly. And if Lucy Letby is innocent, like, I believed the headlines.
Yeah.
You know, everyone did.
We were forced to believe it because of the evidence that they presented in court. And her original legal team didn't challenge any single claim from the prosecution.
Can you remember what she pled? Did she plead not guilty?
I can't remember. I should have looked this up, yeah.
Yeah, same here. We're really shit true crime podcasters, guys. But I imagine she would have pled not guilty. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what her legal team suggested, I suppose.
Yeah, for her sentencing.
Yeah. But why didn't they employ their own medical experts to challenge the evidence that was presented?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if she is innocent, then, like, God knows what she's going to do when she's finally out of prison. And, I mean, at least, unlike Kathleen Folbig, she hasn't served a decade in prison until this came out. If you want to look at a silver lining, if she's innocent.
Yeah. The thing is, the appeals court have turned down 2 requests from her.
There's got to be, I don't know, there's got to be exceptions. I don't know. I guess we'll find out, hopefully.
The connection from this case to Kathleen Folbig was that Lucy Letby also had handwritten notes that the police found in her house and were turned over as evidence. And they included phrases such as, I killed them on purpose because I'm not good enough to care for them. I'm evil, I did this.
So you remember that this is going to hurt?
Yes.
If you're working with babies and you're witnessing tiny humans dying, of course that's going to fuck you up psychologically. You know, it is, to me, at this point, it is really showing the parallels to the Kathleen Folbig.
Yeah.
And, you know, when NHS staff, they're burnt out, they're psychologically traumatised because of all the shit that they have to deal with, especially when they have to deal with the death of patients. I'm sure if she is innocent, like that guilt that a nurse or a doctor or whoever else has to carry when they go home, knowing that they couldn't save a life, you know, well, I guess watch this space and see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's history repeating itself almost in a way.
It is. And it's not the only case. There's been loads of cases where this has happened.
Yeah. Right. Well, moving on. It doesn't get much better than our stories aren't gonna. We don't really have anything lighthearted today.
I kind of do.
Oh, you do?
I have old news and new news.
Okay.
But did you have anything?
Yeah, I have a story that is like so local to me. It's literally down the road.
Oh dear.
And it's funny, my friend told me about it. So there's an estate agent's literally like just over a kilometre from where I live. I walk past it every day and it's been closed for ages. And my friend told me why, and it was in the papers, the French newspapers. So there was a real estate agent called Soufyène Mazouz who embezzled money from 20 families, and he's been sentenced to 4 years in prison. But he is currently on the run.
Okay.
So they've sentenced him, but they can't put him in jail yet because they can't get hold of him. But if he is caught, he will have to reimburse his victims a sum of 540,000 euros.
Ooh.
Yeah. So basically, he's young. He's like 30, younger than us, 34. Obviously, he doesn't have the money because he's spent it all. But yeah, he was like celebrated within his field because he was seemingly successful and like getting lots of deals done and whatnot. But then he was pocketing the deposit monies from people that were looking to buy homes through this estate agent. And if I'm not mistaken, the story that got the police onto him and the media, there was one particular family. It was a taxi driver father and who has a disabled daughter, and he was looking for a home that was specifically adapted to his daughter's needs. So they found a home. He paid the deposit. Obviously, Mazouz pocketed the money, and then this father and his daughter, I don't know if they did, but they were on the brink of being homeless. And because he's got a disabled daughter, obviously that got the attention. And it turns out there were like 20 families that this guy had conned money out of.
So how does it work there for buying a house? Do the banks not handle the transfer of deposits, or?
I should know this because we're homeowners. I have no idea, actually. Like most of the articles were behind a paywall, which I can access, but I have to look on my partner's phone. But yeah, I have no idea how he got away with it. But it was very recent. I think it's in the last 2 or 3 years. So now the estate agents, so he bought the office, like he worked his way up, and then he became the owner of the office that's down the road from me. And since then it's been closed and like no one's taken over it. It's like completely gutted out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and he is from the town that I live in at the moment. So he was conning people like his neighbours, practically, because they were all people from this town and the next town. So it's just the audacity of it, really.
Yeah. It makes you wonder how long that had been going on.
Yeah, and like this guy, the victim who had the disabled daughter, he's like a taxi driver. So he's working ridiculously long hours. These people, they've spent years saving up this money to put down for a deposit, and this wanker just takes it all and runs off with it.
Do they have any idea where he might be?
No idea. Maybe back to his country of origin, but I have no idea. It doesn't say in the papers that I've been able to read.
He sounds like a Robert Hendy Freegard.
Yeah, speaking of, so his trial's about to start, isn't it?
So hopefully the next time we do our monthly, we might have an update for you.
Yeah.
Or we might have to do it as a separate episode, who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to keep up to date with that one and see what happens.
Yeah.
Right, should we do the palate cleanse? Well, we'll do your light-hearted stuff before we get into the nitty-gritty.
So 136 years later, we might know the identity of Jack the Ripper.
Why? That's very specific.
Well, there's been many theories about who Jack the Ripper might be.
Yeah.
But it seems that DNA tests are pointing towards a particular suspect called Aaron Kosminski, who was a Jewish immigrant from Poland, who was actually a key suspect at the time of the murders in 1888.
Right.
So for those of you who don't know Jack the Ripper, he is known to have butchered and murdered at least 5 women in Whitechapel, which is in East London.
That's where I was born.
Yeah, big up the
Big up Brick Lane.
London crew.
Yeah.
And so street. Yeah, so DNA testing came about because there was a shawl belonging to one of the victims,
Right.
Catherine Eddowes. Police kept that as evidence, but it was actually pilfered by a sergeant called Amos Simpson, who took the shawl home to give to his wife as a gift.
Okay.
The shawl was covered in blood.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that a man would do that. Here, love, I got you something nice. You just need to put it in the wash before you wear it. It's just some ketchup, love. Bit of red wine.
Just went down the chippy, didn't I? So 120 years later, in 2007, the shawl was sold on eBay to a researcher called Russell Edwards. And the shawl was actually nicely preserved.
Right.
No one in the family who it was passed to had worn the shawl or even touched it, by the sounds of things, because there was both blood and semen on it.
Oh my God.
This researcher, Russell Edwards, didn't believe that the shawl originally belonged to Catherine Eddowes.
Right.
Because she was a poor alcoholic. Because of the pattern and the colours on the shawl, he thought it was similar to those produced in St. Petersburg at the time of the murders took place.
Right.
So that's why he linked it to Kosminski, and he sent in the DNA evidence to be tested.
What was the shawl made of? What fabric? Wool?
I have no idea.
Okay.
He didn't say.
Because it's amazing if it lasted that, if it survived. That, I mean...
I'm guessing it's going to be some sort of silk or...
Yeah. But the fact that it survived that long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, if it's been preserved well, like kept in a vacuum sealed bag, then...
With all the semen.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
So they also took DNA tests from Kosminski's distant relatives and Catherine Eddowes' relatives as well. So, they found a link.
Could you imagine being a descendant of Jack the Ripper?
I know. That's what I was thinking. Although he was considered a suspect, he was never arrested.
Okay.
But in 1890, he had a schizophrenic breakdown and was committed to an asylum in North London. And then he died 28 years later.
Wow.
And so after reading this news story, I usually do this. I go on Reddit and see what people are saying about it.
Yeah.
Because some people make some funny comments on there.
Yeah.
And there was one that was like, dig him up and put him on trial. And then one person actually linked to a trial of a dead person.
No way.
Yeah. And this was called the Cadaver Trial.
Okay.
And it happened in Rome in 897 AD.
Right.
So back in the day. This guy's name was Pope Formosus. And he'd been dead for 4 months when it was ordered to dig up his body and be taken to the papal court to face charges of perjury, illegally obtaining the title of Pope and presiding over more than one diocese.
I mean, what's the point in that?
He was found guilty and his papacy was taken away.
Okay. Oh, it's a bit late because he's dead.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
2 nice news stories in one there.
Yeah. No, they're quite interesting. Well, we are gonna nosedive now. Another story from France. I swear, I promise next time we won't talk about France so much. I'm getting sick of this country that I've decided to move to. But there's a shit lot of things happening in France at the moment. So this one's really, really awful, to be fair. So a couple, man and wife, they've been sentenced to 17 years and 12 years, respectively, for abusing their adopted daughter. So the victim, who is now 18 years old, after the whole Gisèle Pellicot case, which is the woman who was drugged by her husband and offered up to hundreds of other men. After that case, this 18-year-old, she decided to have an open trial so that people will know.
That's very brave.
Yeah, especially because 18 is still very, very young. So a man and his wife, they've been sentenced to imprisonment because they were found guilty of raping their adopted daughter from the age of 10 and handing her over to strangers who they found online between 2017 and 2022. A family friend who was, according to this article that I'm reading, a lover of both the mother and father, but also abused the child. They've been sentenced to 10 years in prison. And the man, he was the one finding the strangers by posting explicit photos of his daughter on a website called Coco. It's a French website, coco.fi. It's now shut down. And the owner of that is an Italian. And I think he's been indicted as well. But it was a similar technique used by Dominique Pellicot when he was advertising his wife. And the adoptive father would take his daughter to areas for her to be abused, so such as like a disused train station in Brittany or like a naturist beach. And he also liked to watch the abuse.
Oh, God.
Because he was addicted to sex and porn sites. Not saying that because you have a porn addiction or a sex addiction, you do something as horrific as this, but in this case, this is what he did. So, yeah, like she was in 5th grade. She was 10 years old when this started. And when she started her period, her parents put her on the pill because they were scared that she was going to get pregnant.
Oh, my God.
From the abuse. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that this couple adopted a child. So she was already, I don't know, I imagine as a child that's going from one home to another kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
she's already experienced trauma, I suppose, in that respect, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then to be taken in by two people who are supposed to love you, protect you, give you a normal life, and to do such depraved things, it's just awful.
So does this couple have any criminal history or?
So far it doesn't say. There's not much information about any of their identities or whatever. I guess more of it's gonna come out later. I don't know. They've just received their sentencing. I don't know. Maybe not. But then it's like Dominique Pellicot. His wife thought he was a loving husband that she'd been with for years. Even his daughter was abused by him. And he didn't. Like, no one suspected anything from him. Maybe they had depraved interests. And I know it's horrible to say this, but it starts somewhere. Like the actual acting on those desires starts somewhere. And maybe this was the start of it. I don't know. Who knows? I really hope this young woman, I hope she has a bright and happy future. I hope she gets the therapy she needs. I hope she feels a sense of justice. Personally, I don't feel like they got enough time in prison.
So they've been sentenced? All of them?
Not all of them. Obviously not all of the men that abused her, but the mum, the dad, and this family friend / lover.
So they only got 10 years respectively?
The dad, I think he got 17 years. The mum got 12 years. And the family friend got 10 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, I know. I need to read up more about how the sentencing works in France, because that just sounds messed up. Because that's a long time that she was abused.
Yeah, you think about how long it was for her actually going through that.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, shall I bring the tone back up?
Yeah, go on then.
Finish on a lighter topic.
Yeah.
So this one's a little bit old now. I don't know if it made it out of France, but a French woman, I shouldn't laugh because she is a victim. So a French woman was conned out of 830,000 euros. So that's £700,000 by scammers posing as Brad Pitt on Instagram. So I've been desperately trying to find the program that drew a lot of attention to this case. There's a French broadcaster called TF1, and they had a program interviewing her about it. And as soon as it aired, this woman got so much harassment and so much ridicule that they had to pull the program, and now you can't see it anywhere.
Oh, wow. That's quite sad, though. For the woman, I mean, not for us not being able to watch the documentary.
It is sad that we can't watch the documentary because I want to know what happened. No, I'm joking. But yeah, loads of people mocked her. It is quite sad, part of the aftermath. So she was married to a millionaire or billionaire, I don't know. She was married to a very wealthy person. They divorced. she had huge life savings and I guess like money from the divorce settlement. And she literally just joined Instagram like a couple of years ago. So she was new to social media. And this profile that had an AI Brad Pitt started messaging her. And at first she wasn't falling for it, like this has got to be a joke. But somehow this account won her over and they started like corresponding. And then the person pretending to be Brad Pitt like made out that they had cancer and that they were in the hospital, and they would send like videos of them in the like Brad Pitt's head like superimposed on this body like in a hospital. Like it was quite convincing, and asking for money, saying that he was broke because of the divorce proceedings with Angelina Jolie. I don't know why it didn't occur to this woman to just look up the news and find out what's happening with Brad Pitt, because surely if he had cancer it would be in the news.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you don't always know what's going on in a famous person's life. Like, it doesn't always get reported.
I guess, but surely if he's on Instagram putting photos of himself in hospital gown.
Yeah, there's going to be questions raised, isn't there?
Also, did she not know that he's an alcoholic, abusive piece of shit? But obviously he must have changed his ways because he's like on his deathbed. But anyway, he and her daughter, who's in her early 20s, even tried to warn her, like, this has got to be a scam. Anyway, she fell for it and she lost all her life savings. And apparently afterwards she did try to take her life 3 times because of the humiliation and, you know, whatever you would feel after giving away your life savings to who knows who, pretending to be Brad Pitt. So, yeah, that's my lighthearted story.
Yeah, I had actually forgot about that. I said to you that I needed to read up on it because I hadn't seen much about it. But that shows how much I go on social media.
Well, I found out about it through social media because I don't actually read the newspapers, but everyone in France knew about it. And this poor woman, like, that's what she's going to be known as. And it's a lot of money.
Mm. Does she know who was behind it, or?
I guess no one knows. I've no idea, like, if the police are pursuing anything. Oh, I just remembered, the only reason that she found out that she was being scammed was because she did see pictures of Brad Pitt with his current, the real Brad Pitt with his current real girlfriend in the newspapers. He's currently dating someone called Ines de Raymond or whatever her name is.
But he's been dating her for a while though, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think they've been dating since before this woman had Instagram.
Yes, it makes you wonder why she didn't. Like, oh, yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, that's my palate cleanser.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll promise to come out of France next time.
Well, it depends. You can't control the news, can you?
No. We'll try and get something that's in another country at least. But, yeah, there's a lot happening in this little country.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Thanks for sticking with us.
And we'll be back next month.
Yes. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed this episode. You can find more information about the show on our website at feloniouspod.com or on our Instagram at felonious.pod.
Links to our show notes can be found in the episode description, as well as through our website and social media. You can visit our Contact Us page and tell us what you think about the show and if there are any cases you would like us to cover. We hope you join us for the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.